What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Climb Together podcast. I'm your host, Tony Scorpio, with my co-host, Deception. Deception, say hi.
What up?
This is episode number 89 of the Climb Together podcast. We are 11 away from 100. I know
We're so close, bro.
we're so close. Not a lot of podcasts to get here as far as like longevity. We've been doing this for almost 3 years now. It's a good, I'm really proud of us, to be honest. That we've stuck with it for so long. And remained relatively consistent. And I say relatively because like we had some breaks, but
Yeah, we've had some weeks and months off.
yeah, but like overall, like the weeks that we're on, we're consistent as hell.
That is true. When everything's going okay, and like
Our lives are
nothing
not crazy.
going on, yeah, like we're good.
Yeah, like the only time like that we don't do podcasts is like when my life gets freaking hectic as hell, or like one of us is on vacation. And my
Or
life,
one of us is sick because I magically got sick during vacation.
yeah,
So we missed like 2 weeks.
yeah. I think I've called off podcasts because I was sick like once or twice, and you've called off podcasts because you were sick a couple times. So we've
Gotta take those sick days, bro.
yeah. I mean, they're like the company that we run ourselves gives us sick days that we have to use. They're not paid, but we got to use them anyway.
Bro, even the non-sick days aren't paid sometimes. It's okay though.
Listen, man, I'm paying to do this. I'm not getting paid. I am paying. But it's worth it in my opinion.
Sure.
But
It's worth it.
It is worth it in my opinion. But that's my opinion. Anyway, so a couple things to cover this week. I mean, we're gonna talk about XDebrief, but we're gonna leave that for the end of the podcast today, just because there's a lot to talk about, and then we're gonna extend the podcast a little bit to do a reaction to the season 2 debrief video that's coming out. So we're gonna like pause the podcast, watch it, and then we're gonna resume the podcast and talk about it.
Yeah, because they decided they wanted to drop XDebrief right when the podcast is
Yeah,
normally
literally.
ending. So.
Because you guys know we usually wrap up the podcast around 1 p.m. EST every week, and XDefiant just said, let's start our thing at 1 p.m. EST.
Yeah, for some reason the last 4 or 5, maybe even longer than that, years, it seems like everything gaming related drops at 1 p.m. Eastern, like all the time. It doesn't matter what day it is, but it seems like most commonly it's on Wednesday.
Yeah, so we always
So
get
it's
like
kind of funny that we decided to make this podcast go from 12 to 1 on Wednesday.
Listen, man, this is the time where we've been doing it since the beginning, and it's just like a kind of like a running joke now that like things just happen right after the podcast, I like it. I mean, I hate that it does that like that, but it's kind of funny in a running joke kind of fashion. So, but
one thing that I kind of wish did happen still, because it would be happening right after the podcast whenever it came around, is I kind of sometimes wish they, even though it would drag it out really far, I kind of wish that they go back to the CDL or the CWL Champs format, because the CWL Champs format, it used to start on a Wednesday.
Yeah. So, I mean...
And it would be starting, like, right after the podcast. So we'd be, like, able to do a podcast and make predictions and immediately just jump into watching it.
That'd be cool. I want to start doing, like, some, like, watch parties in, like, the Discord. But, that's a little harder to coordinate, especially since most things are on the weekends, and I work, like, literally all weekend, every weekend.
Yeah, and I always manage to be doing something on the weekend.
Yeah. Deception's a busy guy. Except for during the week. On the weekend, Deception's like out doing everything.
Dude, that's why I don't stream on the weekends, bro. Because I
catch him on a weekday.
I don't.
You can always catch Deception on a weekday, but weekend, he got plans. He's busy. He's doing things.
There's been like a few times I've streamed on the weekends, but It's not common.
No. I'm like I'm always busy on the weekends, which kind of sucks, um but anyway, um hopefully, one day when, someday soon when Scorpion Syndicate, inevitably takes off, cuz it's coming. It's coming. I could feel it in my left knuckle, And then we'll be able to just not have to work, or I'll be working, but we'll be doing this on the weekends, and that's kind of what I want for all of us. And
Yeah, that would be ideal.
yeah, mainly for me though, because like I'd be working, and then I'd be working more, and then I'd be working more, and then I'd be doing school. So
Yeah.
it's a little little rough, a little complicated, but you know what? It's worth it in my opinion. For those of you that aren't unaware, running an organization is extremely time consuming. And but it is also very rewarding. Like when like the Pokemon Unite team wins, it's like I feel like this sense of like pride. Like they're my children, like I'm like this mom who, just started their kids in like soccer, and then all of a sudden they win their first game or they like score a goal, and I like that's the kind of pride I feel when our teams win, and that's the kind of pride that's like unreplaceable in my opinion. But I'm saying that a lot today, but it's okay, I guess. Let's see here. What do we got? As far as like news this week, we'll probably start. Let's start like Call of Duty. I think that might be a good way to kick off today. Start with an FPS, end with an FPS. So last week we kind of talked about the PS5. Still more stuff going on about that.
Yeah, that conversation is still rolling a little bit.
Oh yeah.
People haven't let go of it yet.
No. Sorry, I'm trying to get back to Wednesday. Okay, there was not a lot this week. I mean, there's a lot of subathons going on right now, and that's something I noticed, like, between, like, the bigger creators. I mean,
Gump did a 24-hour stream, which is rare.
Yeah, so that was cool. And he shaved his head and his mustache. Thank God.
Yeah.
That mustache is... He be looking... I don't like mustaches. It's not, like... I think they're kind of whatever.
I think you're the only person that doesn't like him with the mustache.
I think so too, but I don't like mustaches. They're freaking weird. I just don't like mustaches. Kudos to you if you like mustaches. I can't. I'm also like, I don't know, attracted to people that don't normally have mustaches. So, but yeah, so he had a great subathon, and then Hex and Nadeshot looked at his. So Nadeshot's now in Texas.
That clip is so funny.
Nadeshot is still in Texas. No, now moved to Texas, like officially. Like he's living there with his family, and he's like hanging out with the Optic guys, which is really cool to see. Especially if you've been watching them for a long time. It's good to see them back together.
Kind of taking us back to like 2013, 2014, 2015.
Yeah. So, they took a peek during the stream. They took a peek at Nadeshot's like financial dashboard or whatever in Twitch, and they're like, "Damn!" In like a month, he like made enough to buy like 3 Lambos, and 4 Lambos. Sorry.
Dude, Nate was sitting there and he was like, "Bro, like these are his days off." He was like, "I wish I had this when I was streaming."
Lambo. Okay, how much does the Lamborghini cost? They start up from.
It depends.
It starts starting price, like the lowest you probably can get for a new Lamborghini is $275,000.
Yep.
For a 2024. Oh, a 2025, sorry. And then it's still like upwards of $200,000 for every Lamborghini. So you can buy 4 of those. That's at least, like, he's got to be making like $1 million a month, man.
I would not be surprised if he makes $1 million a month.
Like,
I mean, because he's regularly averaging like 15 to 20K subs a month.
Yeah. Plus bits, donations, brand deals.
I wouldn't even count brand deals. I bet he makes $1 million a month just off of Twitch. And you
Probably.
gotta put ads in Twitch Turbo in there too,
Oh yeah.
and Prime.
Prime. And then he's got like that's just Twitch, so he's still got like YouTube, freaking from like the watch parties, like this man's is
I'm sure he's getting salaried by Optic.
oh yeah, he's great.
He's got all the brand deals. He's got Optic's brand deals. He's got his own brand deals.
He's part owner in Optic.
Yeah, and I think he still owns Control too. So he's got that.
I forgot about that.
He's got big. I don't know if he has like stake in Oakley, but he is like huge into Oakley. Like they invested in him big time.
I mean, that was a smart choice by them, in my opinion. But so like, he's making fucking bank, and that just kind of like proves to show, like that kind of just like proves Hex's point that he's been trying to prove like over the past how many like 10 years that like these players, if they invest themselves into streaming and really give it like while they're professionals, that when they're retired, like they'll have it set up for themselves, and Scump is that proof. I mean, that man's is probably making more money now than he was playing.
Yeah, I mean, when you factor in the fact that when he was playing, he took a lot of time off, especially like it wasn't really the case until about BO4, but ever since like BO4 when he was competing, he would take like long leaves from streaming and YouTube. He didn't really do that before BO4, but I don't know. I don't know if there was like a switch that flipped in him and he was like, I really need to focus on competing or what, but like, or maybe he built his brand and then he was like, oh, now I can like take time off and it won't be that bad.
Yeah.
But like, he really like once around BO4, he really made the switch to like just full focus on competing for a lot of the year.
I mean, you kind of had
it's crazy
to,
because every off season he would just come back and it would just be like he never left.
Yeah. I mean, it was just good though. I mean, he set himself up so well moving forward that like it's kind of hard to like be like Hex was wrong and Hex has not listened to what he's trying to say to these different players in the content creation space as far as like setting yourself up for success after you retire. What's up, Mal? Because I mean he's living proof, and same thing with like Methods as well. Like Methods he is just putting content on like left and right, and they do like the watch parties. They're still involved in the the CDL. They're not like doing something totally different, but like they're still making a good living for themselves. Same thing with like Big Timer. Like the man's has been retired for years and just creates content. And same thing with like
and
Maniac.
he's taking off really long leaves too, and he'll just come back and still be pulling views, and it's like okay.
Yeah, people still watch him. And same thing with like Maniac.
I would say just a lot of the COD pros in general. Like I feel like ever since like I feel like it really started in Cold War, and it's been like there's been a boom of like other former pros and current pros on other teams doing way more content because like you have like Octane who started diving super hard into content even before he retired and he was blowing up. Like Attach has been doing podcasts and a bunch of content. I've seen Temp make videos and stuff. Like there's been tons of players now that have just like Scrap kind of like blew up last year because he started making YouTube videos, and like it's really cool to see that people are starting to do that because Hex has been dishing out that advice for like a decade now, and it
like not even.
I don't think it's that people that weren't listening. I just don't think people fully saw the benefit, and now they are. Now I don't know what happened during Cold War, but it just like all of a sudden like all these COD pros are doing YouTube now and streaming more, and it's like really nice.
Yeah.
Like for example, with Octane, like I liked him and I liked watching him and supported him before he started doing more content, especially on YouTube. But it really like Octane has become one of my favorite pros to watch content wise. Ever since he started really going hard.
Like Zuma as well, like.
Yeah, Zuma kind of brought Methods in there and kind of made Methods more popular in a way because Methods was a very well known host of the flank. After he ended up getting dropped from Ultra.
Yeah.
Um, so like, I mean, it was a bad situation for him being a pro, but it helped him in his content.
Yeah, and that's where like he's making the most money right now. That's like kind of like that's like the only, which is weird to say because usually like players usually like to be, salaried as a player because it's more consistent, but like right now like content creation for them is more consistent than it was with when they're playing.
Yeah, I think Zuma and Methods have both said that before. They were like, yeah, like when we started doing the flank, it was like we were doing better and having more fun than we were when we were competing. Like they were like, we like competing, but like the content has been really fun. Which is cool because I think that's like I think that's an obstacle that a lot of the pros
Mm-hmm.
like have a hard time getting over is like I feel like a lot of pros feel like you either have to full focus on competing and don't do content, or you full focus on content and it hurts your competition. Um,
And I feel like that's not the case, and it's been proven. You can
yeah, I
take
think they
some.
figured it out
Mm-hmm.
lately that like they can do both and it works. It
Yeah.
works out just fine.
You just have to like, like those times where you have to take time off of streaming to focus on your, competitive career, you do that, but like in the off season, you're grinding every day. You're playing games. Anyway, you might as well be streaming them.
I also think it has helped a lot of these pros, the older ones. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, obviously there's people like Shotzi and Attach who I don't think will retire super soon.
Oh no, Strassy's still got like a while at him.
Like they're doing content and blowing up, but like you look at like how these guys like Zuma, Methods, Octane have like they started doing more content in like the twilight of their
Mm,
careers and transitioned into content when they retired, and it just helped them so much that they already had that head start.
yeah,
Um, and like other players like Shotzi and Scrap who have just started their careers not super long ago are gonna have even better of a head start. Like they're gonna have like the scump like status by the
yeah.
time they're probably retired. They're gonna be like the face of the league because of their content, uh, and because everybody loves watching them. Uh,
Oh yeah. I think, I think, you know, for those of you that thought Hex was wrong, you owe him a freaking big ol' apology because the man's is right, and that's kind of what I'm doing here. At Scorpion Syndicate is in enabling those same, um, what are they called? Fuck. Uh, what are they called? Dude, why am I like blinking? Why am I blinking? Deception, help, please. Um, the same ideology, I guess. Yeah, that's like as best as I can do. The same ideology is Hex in that because I mean it's proven time and time again. Um, and you see it over and over again. I mean, you get streamers that go from being competitive players to going back to just streaming, and then they go back to competitive. Like, for example, Nick Merckx, he just announced that he's going back to Apex Legends competing. The man used to compete in Gears, then he went to just streaming, then he went to Warzone and like Fortnite, then Warzone, then back to streaming, then Apex, then back to streaming.
some people just can't get away from competing.
No,
It's
they
like
just
I
got that
literally was
itch.
just I got a Twitter notification just now, and while you were talking, I was checking my phone, and the first tweet that I saw is Jake Lucky's tweeted that stable Ronaldo is coming back to Fortnite
Oh my god.
to compete.
Let's go. Yeah, speaking of FaZe, by the way, they are freaking killing it. I mean, I've been watching a lot of like um just like podcasts with FaZe. Like Banks has been doing like a lot of podcasts recently. He's been kind of going like on a PR run kind of. From what I can tell, that he's back and he's back in control of FaZe Clan and just kind of talking about everything and all that fun stuff. And he has gotten a lot of flack for like the way that he did things with FaZe, right? Which I agree with to a certain extent. I mean, like he definitely could have done it better. But at the end of the day, he did what was best, what he thought was best for his company. I mean, he
It
did.
seems like it's working.
Yeah. I mean,
I
hell,
mean, they're definitely not dead like a lot of people thought they would be
no,
after this rebrand.
no, they are not. They're not even close. I think like they're the most alive that they've been in years. which is saying
I
something.
feel like I feel like the whole rebrand and the way that they've changed everything has kind
Mm,
of revitalized all of them.
yeah. I mean, they're doing like a 30-day subathon right now across like the entire um organization. They're all living in the same house. It's bringing it back to like the core ideologies of just young kids who love gaming, streaming. I mean, they're more IRL streamers in phase now, but who love
Dude,
streaming.
I'm excited for that house they're gonna end up getting. I'm really excited for that.
Yeah. I mean, they're already all living together, but
I'm excited for the new house though, because I know they're working on that.
mm-hmm.
I assume they're still trying to find one. Um, Either that or they're just waiting to announce it. But
Yeah, and then like Banks was talking about the warehouse and like all the money that they were spending on that kind of stuff. They were spending $100,000 a month on that warehouse, from what he said.
makes me wonder how much 100 Thieves spends on the compound.
Um, I think they bought the compound,
Mm,
and
wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, they did have like they had like $100 million investment. They would have the funds to be able
Yeah,
to
I
do
think the
that.
compound was like 10 or 15 million.
Yeah.
So
Like they had 100 million seed investment in their first year. Um,
that is crazy, bro.
oh yeah, like
Nate Shot really
they had
got
it.
that org flying out the gate.
Oh yeah. Well, the thing is like he had his one of the benefits that Nate Shot had going into this that a lot of other people don't have is he had his reputation and his name
Yeah.
and his following on YouTube. You know, that's kind of what that's like the at the core that's why they did so well is because of the already existing fan base that he had that would transfer
Well, and
over.
like people that were in business, like investors and stuff, also probably trusted him because they knew that he had close ties to Hex, and Hex probably taught him a ton of stuff that made him a way better businessman than a lot of people going into an org
Yeah. I mean,
for the first time.
I mean, he hates the business stuff. That's kind of why he took a step back as CEO. He only goes to like one meeting a week now. Um, and that's just like a mandatory kind of thing to like keep him in the loop. But um he he shit, I'm having a hard time speaking. But like he
At
when
least he's not selling the org to some other company.
yeah. So like and that's kind of where cuz I mean he learned I mean he's like everyone's learning from FaZe. I mean FaZe is kind of like an Optic or like the kind of two first to really do it all. And they both made the ultra most mega fuck up you could make and by selling majority shares of your company over to either an investment firm or like some rich guys in suits, you know?
Yeah, I mean, FaZe didn't really do it the same way as Optic did, but I mean, Optic kind of just pawned Optic off to a different like company that was basically like a different org, because they also owned a bunch of other orgs.
Yeah.
Um, and FaZe just sort of hired investors that didn't really help them.
They didn't hire investors. They hired like business people too. They like hired like a guy that was like gonna run the company for that like for them because like to run the business side so they didn't have to worry about it so they could just, you know, work on content and not have to worry about it. And that ended up fucking them over because that guy was original like that original guy like brought in all his buddies and they all just wanted to make a fat bag and they did, I'm
It's
sure.
funny though because like Envy did the same thing, but Envy's investors were like really good,
Yeah.
and Envy's whole like business team was really good. So Optic went to Envy, and they were like, "We're good now." Um, it was a bad double whammy though because like FaZe was the best in terms of content, and Optic was the best in terms of like
Mhm.
esports, and they both made that mistake.
Yeah, but I mean it's something for all of us to kind of learn from in the next generation of organizations because they're doing all the fucking up.
I mean, the good thing is they both respective parties got out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, Optic is still technically like under a similar kind of situation, as like FaZe were and as they were under Infinite, but they have way better like
Mm-hmm.
people around them.
Yeah.
Like the people that Envy got were really good.
So, I mean, it's something to learn from, I guess. I mean, and honestly, I'm really, take houses definitely need to make a comeback because just like the creative environment that they, um, you know, uh, create, you're all you guys are like everyone in that house is hungry. They want to make videos, they want to do well, they want to make their bag, they want to grow, right?
Only thing is, I don't think that would work for a lot of like the older creators.
No,
Like,
that's a young gun type.
I don't think it would work for Optic because like half of them have girlfriends slash wives now.
Yeah. I think it would work for like the younger generation of content
It would
creators.
work for like basically all the phase.
Like the young
Um,
20s, like I mean that's why they're doing it. I mean some of them have girlfriends, but like girlfriends can spend the night, you can soundproof your room. There's things you can do, you know. But
I mean, I don't know. It's weird though because like I feel like a lot of the guys that have girlfriends, if they've been in a long term relationship, they would want them to like move in or whatever. Which
yeah.
I mean, that could totally be feasible in a house like that. But I also feel like a lot of them probably wouldn't want that over just being in your own house.
Yeah, but these guys are hungry though. I think they picked the right lot of people. Like Banks definitely picked the right group of guys to like really, you know.
I definitely think it would work out the best for FaZe. I don't
Mhm.
think Optic would be able to have a house
No, I
again.
don't think I don't think
I
so
think we
either.
just need to stick with the hex quarters and we're
Yeah.
good.
I think that they're like the more like I don't know, they're like the grown-up version of FaZe is like the best way that I can put it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's crazy because like their are like the same. Like their fans have kind of like, whereas I mean a lot of FaZe fans have grown up with them too, but like FaZe also has a bunch of like newer
They
fans.
have a lot of young
Like
kids that watch them, like
most of
because of
Optics
Rug.
fans just basically just grew up with the org, and now like the whole like shift of the fan base has happened.
Yeah. So it's definitely like really cool to see though. I mean, and I because of like Rug's like audience base and like his family friendly videos, like Face has definitely adopted like a much younger audience than it has in
Dude, I
prior.
love Rug, bro.
Rug's awesome. He's such a genuine human being.
I see him do videos with Sam and Colby, and I'm like, I like this guy.
Yeah. And he's just out there doing his thing, doing what he loves to do, and nobody can tell him any different, and it's awesome.
He's one of those examples where like he left what his old like niche was that he used to do, which he used to do like COD videos. He was like a trick shotter.
Mm-hmm.
He's like a great example of leaving an old niche that you used to do, but going into something new and doing it really well and
Mm-hmm.
finding your footing in it really fast and being very successful.
Yeah. I mean, he's kind of like one of the like pioneers of just like IRL content in the modern day of like, like
Oh, because he had
challenges.
a good amount of subs and he was getting good views playing COD and stuff. But when he left to do all these IRL videos and
Yeah.
do this stuff, I mean, he just blew up.
Like the pranks on his family and like just like all these different things. And like I mean, honestly, like if probably and this is just speculation because like I don't know for sure, but like I'm sure Mr. Beast probably got like that kind of like Mr. Beast only like recently blew up. I mean, he had like followers when he was doing like um gaming videos, but when he switched to IRL stuff, that's when he blew up as well. And I
Dude,
think I'm not sure if it was like the exact same time or around the exact same time or who did it first, but I definitely they
dude,
both
I
played some influence on each other
I'm
in
pretty
some way.
sure I've mentioned this on the podcast before, but the crazy thing about Mr. Beast is the fact that he used to make COD Zombies videos, and he was not only like good friends with a lot of the popular zombies YouTubers that are like popular now, he was also like on par with them, and they were sometimes doing better than him with like views and stuff when he was making zombies videos.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, that was like 10 years ago, but like there's stuff like that, and the fact that like there is a former zombies YouTuber that works for him now.
Yeah. I mean, there's a bunch of drama going on around the Mr. Beast like team and everything. Um, with Ava Tyson and her recent like discoveries of everything, and then like other people like just like coming out about Jimmy in general. But I think it's kind of hard to say what's going on because you don't know until you know. Um,
I heard that he made like a document about how to be successful on YouTube, like in detail, and it got leaked.
Probably. That sounds right.
I think that'd be interesting if it came out.
Yeah.
Like if it's real. Because imagine it like actually works.
I would love that. Listen, if that's the way she goes, that's the way she goes.
I think, I don't know. I don't know, the way that Mr. Beast blew up, I feel like needs to be studied because he just like, we've never seen somebody astronomically blow up like that.
No, we haven't ever.
Like, it used to be like PewDiePie, like that was the big one. Like for the longest time, it was like, how did PewDiePie get this big? Like he just exploded. But now it's like Mr. Beast did it like 10 times more.
He did it like 10 times more and like 10 times faster, you know? PewDiePie's been around since like the beginning of YouTube, making content.
Yeah.
I mean, that's who we all grew up watching. I mean, you didn't grow up
Dude,
watching.
but you know what's crazy though? I mean, granted, like it's not that good of a case for the game because most of these examples have moved away from it. But if you look at a lot of the popular YouTubers that have like 10 plus million subscribers, like a lot of them started making COD videos.
Yeah.
Like Mr. Beast was doing zombies content. PewDiePie was making videos on like BO1. Like Vanoss has like almost 30 million subscribers, and he got popular off of COD. Like,
I mean, COD was like one of the original like games of YouTube. I mean that, and like it's just been around so long. That and like CS maybe in there, and then like just IRL videos like skits and skit type things. But like as far as like that era of YouTube, it was all like straight up just quick virality and then like how-to videos.
yeah,
And that's what a lot of games were, like how to get through this part of the game, or or like the trick shotting, or just like showing things to your friends. It was just kind of like the early stage of YouTube. And then there was like, you know, like the OG YouTube videos of like, where's the chapstick? Or like sitting on the toilet, or like hide your kids, hide your wife. But like Call of Duty videos are definitely in there because like, I mean, you guys know the Call of Duty comedy. Oh my god, if I could fucking speak today.
Vanoss, like, I wouldn't say he pioneered it because I think there were definitely people doing it before him, but he really made like the funny moments videos on COD popular. Because him and his like group were just so insanely hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, but like, you know, in the Call of Duty community, you know, if you don't have a clip of it, it didn't happen. Like that's like a,
yeah.
If you don't prove it didn't happen, and that's how a lot of people got into YouTube, was because they did something cool, they clipped it, they posted it so that other people could see, so they weren't.
Yeah,
like,
the big thing with
lying.
Vanoss was ninja diffusing.
Yeah. So like,
It's really funny.
it was like a way for them to like brag about their accomplishments.
Vanoss did it really cool though, because he would have teammates or he would do it himself. He would like, because that was back in BO2 where you could put down the riot shield and you could put like your emblem on the riot shield. He would like make an emblem that said like you got ninja diffused or something on there, and he would put the riot shield down like at the bomb. So like the guy would plant the bomb and get up and be just staring at the riot shield like, what? while Vanos is just diffusing.
Like, see, that's the kind of stuff that, like, you know, that, like, built YouTube. And now it's, like, a whole different ball game. But you have to, like, these people are adapting. Guess we're kind of back into, like, the climb together aspect in this episode, apparently. But, like, it's one of
I would
those...
say now the popular thing with COD is like, I mean, this is especially the case in Warzone, but like it can't be the case in like competitive or multiplayers like loadout videos.
Yeah, that's kind of like the meta, I'd say, for,
I
like...
feel like if you make good loadout videos or make good tips and tricks videos or anything like that, or good settings videos
Yeah.
now, it's like
And then,
that's
like,
where you are.
Butters always has her, like, mastery grind. That always does well.
Yeah, anybody that does master grind videos, yeah.
Or, like, I don't know, like, sometimes funny moments, you know, but those are more, like, TikTok and YouTube shorts, like, not long form content.
It's just it's so hard to get those now with skill based matchmaking. Like
Yeah.
it just doesn't, and it's so like I don't really think about this that much, but a lot of people, especially more casual players, do because I feel like casual players are getting turned on more to how skill based matchmaking works. I feel like anytime somebody sees a TikTok of somebody going off or doing or like trolling a teammate, they're like, "Oh, you probably reverse boosted to get here. You probably are like reverse boosting or like two boxing to get play against these like players." And I'm just like, I don't. This should never be an argument. Like skill based matchmaking is horrible because it's making people think these things. Which, I mean, it probably most likely is true, but it's like you have to do that if you want to actually have fun sometimes.
Yeah. It's so true.
Like I saw something that I sent to you just a little bit ago for the podcast where Blame Truth made a tweet about somebody on the XDefiant Reddit that posted about how they had been playing the game since preseason and they had never gotten player of the game and they finally got player of the game. And they were like celebrating, like it was like crazy, which is awesome because like you're never gonna get that in skill based matchmaking. Skill based matchmaking, you'll be like half decent at the game, and because your lobbies are bad, because you play mostly bad, you'll get player of the game in like 2 weeks, and you'll be like, oh, that's awesome. But like I just started playing this game.
Yeah. That's why
You
it's
don't
all
really like
stressful.
feel the progression of like getting better.
Well, that's the thing. Who is that? I can't really see. Derby is like the thing with like skill based. Like that shouldn't be a thing to where you have to have like Smurfs to just be able to play the game. Like that's kind of that's messed
it's
up.
not fun that you have to do that.
Like,
but it's like if you want to have fun, that's like basically the
what
only
you
way
have
to
to
do
do,
it.
and that shouldn't be the case. That shouldn't be the standard. That shouldn't be what people have to do. But it is what people do, and it sucks that that's the case. Because it really shouldn't be, in my opinion, anyway. You know, like
That's why we have XDefiant, no
yeah.
skill based matchmaking.
It's true, so true. Gotta love XDefiant for that reason, you know. So, what other game are you gonna be able to do that with? None.
Yeah, I can go in XDefiant and like just chill and do really well.
Yeah.
90% of the time.
Or you can like do like mediocre, but you're not getting like stomped every game unless you're actually like really bad at the game.
Yeah, there's not that like pendulum swing of I'm doing well and then I'm getting stomped and then I'm doing well again and I'm getting stomped.
Yeah, it's pretty consistent.
Like it's like if you're good at the game, you do well most of the time. You might get stomped 1 out of like 20 times.
Yeah.
And if you're not that great, you won't do that great on average, but there'll be some games where you do really well and you feel good because you genuinely like deserve to do really well.
Yeah.
Instead of you just getting thrown into some lobby that is designed to help you do really well.
But I mean, I feel like I mean, damn, I'm really having a hard time speaking today. I'm like stuttering over my words consistently. But in order for like these changes to be made, games like XDefiant need to do well. You know, like, cause nobody's gonna push the biggest game in the scene to do better, other than like other games that are like gonna take their spot, and that's what Xdefiant needs to do. It's not what they're doing right now, obviously, because I mean their player base is dropping. I mean, they haven't done anything with competitive yet. It took so long to get the game out. I mean, yeah, do we want a good game? That, development time, it's fine, whatever. Like, you have to take your time to get the game out. But at the same time, um, you know, launching the game and having all these issues and just like a lot of things not ready that need to be ready at launch, like private matches. Like Call of Duty, every Call of Duty private matches are available day one. Not beta, not in like a couple seasons. Day one, there's private matches so people can start competing. That is what drives a lot of the grinders to stay on that game. It's like a consistent 2,000 concurrent, like for a small game. I'm not talking COD. COD is like a what? At least like 40k consistent, like people that hop on every day and grind for hours. And that's what games need. Is that consistent player base that's going to get on the game, stay on the game, and play every day. Because those players, they know that the more you play, the better you get, and the better you get, the better you play.
I just checked it, and just on Steam, this doesn't even count probably the countless amount of people that are playing on console, but there's like 50,000 people playing COD right now.
COD? Yeah.
Just on Steam.
Just on Steam. That's not counting Blizzard or consoles.
That's not counting consoles, which they say is the majority of the player base, and they're probably not lying.
I mean,
there's a lot of things I question that they say about the stats of COD, but I definitely don't think that the console players are in the minority. I definitely think that most people that play COD are playing on console.
Yeah. Like, they're definitely playing on console.
50,000 is probably like way more. When
those
you
are
look
like,
at console.
I think those are like the hardcore players. You know what I mean? Those that the day streamers and everything like that. And then at nighttime, you also have like the casual players, the people that have a 9 to 5 and go to school and come home and Call of Duty is their game that they play afterwards. And
yeah, that's the whole thing about one way that you can't really truly dodge it without. External things that you can use, but one of the ways that you can like get SBMM to feel a little bit weaker is like you cannot play on peak hours of the day.
No, you have to play like,
and definitely don't play on weekends because weekends are crazy.
No, you have to play like on like I don't know, like weekdays at like 4 a.m.
Yeah, like week like mornings and like late nights are good times to play COD.
Yeah, like when everybody's at work and like, I mean, hell, why do you think all the like, day streamers play COD during those hours? Because they get better content that way. They shit on those lobbies and they grind through ranked like that. Nighttime comes around, like past like fucking 6 p.m. EST, and it is just it's you're in for a real treat as far as SBMM goes. Like,
oh lord,
yeah,
it's bad, especially on betas. Like betas are not really fun to play anymore with skill-based matchmaking because it's just because like most of the like all the hardcore players are going to be playing, so it's just like it's a bloodbath.
Yeah,
whenever you play betas. That's why I got to level 30 to get my rewards in the BO6 beta, and I just didn't play it after that because it was just like it was bad. Like I thought the game was good, but the skill-based matchmaking was horrible.
Yeah. I mean, that's just like, and it's a problem that, I mean, Call of Duty is not going to address until what, say, someone else comes along.
Dude, it just hurts because like I wanted to play the beta so bad. I had so many times where I was like, I want to play the beta, but I'd get on and play, and the game and the SBMM would just be cranked up to the max, and I'd just be like, I don't want to play this game anymore.
Yeah. So, I mean, Call of Duty has some work to do, obviously. I mean, you know it, I know it, we all know it, like...
Been talking about it for years now.
Yep. And we're gonna keep talking about it until they make some sort of change.
Hopefully they do so.
Yeah. I mean, I think they will. I mean, they have to. But since we're coming up on the watch for the XFI, I think we should switch into XFI. I mean, we kind of talked about it a little there with COD and just a lot of different things. So today, as some of you know, they're doing a season 2 debrief. If you haven't looked, Deception is going to give you a little bit of a rundown of what to expect from season 2. Deception.
Yeah, they gave us a full, or like they dropped like a year before the game even came out. They gave us a sneak peek roadmap of sorts for the game, which outlined basically the content that was coming in the 4 seasons and some features that were coming. But obviously, like, part of it's probably because of all the backlash they've been getting, and
Yeah.
like all the comments of people asking like what's coming, like, and like what can you tell us, like
Tell us something.
they gave us a big extended in-depth roadmap of what's going to be coming in the next 3 seasons.
Yeah. So let me
which is
actually
awesome.
pull that up. Just pull that over there. We'll pull that over there. Twitter, DMs, Deception. So here's they give us an updated 1-year plan. Oh, well, let me actually get the screen working here. Sorry, guys. Okay. There we go. Just bigging that up a little bit. So there's quite a lot here, so we're going to kind of read through it for you. Keep you in date here. So there's going to be a new faction, the Highwaymen. That's from Far Cry. Faction code name is Buzz. So this is going to be season 2. They're going to get 3 new weapons, 3 new maps, a new device, bomb mode, which is going to be like search and destroy, and then a beta for private matches and some limited time modes. So the beta for private matches, probably is going to be really buggy and really difficult to work with. But I mean, at least we have something
And it's
now
like, who
to
knows
work
when
with.
they're going to launch it?
Yeah. I mean, and then
They
actual private
the
matches
thing is
will
they
kick
didn't
off.
give us like dates. They didn't tell us like, oh, this is coming to launch or this is coming in season. Which, I mean, for the later seasons, like season 3 and season 4, I understand it, but like
For season 2,
not for sure telling us for season 2 what's coming when is a little scary, considering season 2 comes out in less than a week now.
yeah.
But I guess we'll find out.
I mean, we're gonna get beta private matches in season 2, and then we'll get actual private matches in season 3. I'm not quite sure if it's going to be like day 1 of season 3 or mid-season. I think it depends on how well the beta goes.
My hope is that they launch private match beta on the launch of season 2, so then they can launch private matches launch of season 3. But we'll see.
Yeah. So, and then in season 4, they're doing the Weapon Mastery 2.0. So they're completely, utterly doing the mastery system that's going on right now, which is good, because, I mean, as much as it's cool to show off that you've used a gun a lot, like, it makes the grind really boring.
Yeah, I have heard rumblings that they're going to be working on new camos in general.
Yeah.
More than just mastery camos, and they're going to go back to they're going to do a challenge system as opposed to making you level up your guns.
So,
like
which
crazy.
I like that a lot. And then some player progression things. It's going to be new weapon mastery skin, some new rank rewards, new battle pass, improved battle pass progression speed, event challenges, mantle improvements to the quality of life, player collision improvements, player footstep audio improvement, top 500 leaderboard actually in game instead of online, ranked loadouts and ranked map voting.
One of the big ones, I think, for player progression is something that we've been asking for a while now, because it will help weapon XP if they're going to keep us with this whole leveling thing to get camos. A lot of people have been asking for getting weapon XP by playing the objective, because like that's like the whole thing about X Defiant is it's a team-based game, so you need to play the objective. But
Mm,
it's hard to play the objective when you're getting less weapon XP than if you just slay out and go get kills.
yeah.
So it's really good that they're adding weapon XP for playing the objective, because now there's so much more incentive to play the objective. Hopefully that comes launch of season 2. I'm not
Mm.
optimistic about that, but we'll see.
I want to be optimistic about it, but that's just because I got a lot writing on it. Sorry, guys. I was scrolling through
It would be
Twitter.
great if they did that. It would be
Um,
fantastic if they. Uh, it'd be fantastic if they did that, because that would make me want to play the game a lot, because I know that would generate so much more weapon XP.
mhm.
Like they said that they're gonna rebalance weapon XP when they do add that in. Um, I hope they don't hurt it too much, but we'll see.
Yeah. I think I don't know. I just I want to see it. I want to see it succeed, but I mean, you can't like will things into existence that don't want to exist. So, but while we wait here for a second, I am going to pull up
You just have to hope that it's
the
good.
X-Defiant video. Yeah.
Like I'm excited for season 2, and that'll definitely get
Mm,
me playing the game more. But like, I just hope he gets me playing the game more than like a week, because that's
yeah.
what happened with season 1. I played it for like a week, and I was like, eh.
Yeah. It's like damn. All right, let's see. Where's this video? Let's pull it up. Premieres in 4 minutes. I have it pulled up on my other screen. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Okay. Let me just adjust it a little bit. We'll probably cut most of this out of the podcast because of like copyright reasons, but like we'll definitely talk
Yeah,
about
we
it
probably
after.
ain't gonna show anything.
But we'll come back in on the recording after this is done. So we're gonna take a quick break to watch this. Live reactions on Twitch. You know, if you guys are watching this later on YouTube, stream this live on Twitch every Wednesday at 12 p.m. EST, where you get to see extra stuff before and after the podcast, and this time in during the podcast. So we're gonna take a quick break, watch this, and then we'll be right back. Alrighty, guys, we are back from our brief intermission. It was just a second for you guys, but for us, it was like 30 minutes. So we just watched the XDebrief, and there's a lot of cool things coming. I mean, the new map looks great. A lot's coming with launch.
Waterfront gonna be lit.
Oh yeah, the new guns. We're getting a lot of different new guns. We're getting like another shotgun, another launcher, another SMG. Well, not another launcher, but a launcher. And then for the new faction, their abilities look great. I mean, you have the the alt for the highwayman. Oh my god, the freaking saw gun. Jesus Christ, that thing looks sick. Definitely gonna be running that faction as soon
It's
as I
gonna be
unlock
so
it.
fun. It like
Oh yeah.
I said it during the video. It makes me think of that launcher in BO3 that shot the same like kind of discs that would bounce everywhere. Oh,
Yeah.
that's gonna be fun.
So I mean, after watching it, I think there's gonna be a lot of cool things that come out of this. I think, I mean, they do like the design for things really well. I think with the addition of private matches coming, even if it's just in beta form, I feel like that'll really revive the community a lot. I mean, we talked about it earlier on the podcast about how that helps concurrent viewer, like not concurrent viewers, but concurrent players, when it comes to games. And the system kind of looks similar to Call of Duty, and the fact that like you can decide how many people are going to be on each team and et cetera, et cetera. And I think there's bots and everything coming as
I just
well
hope
in the
they give you a
future.
lot of options. Like
Yeah.
I hope that their like game settings are like really in depth,
Yeah.
because that's going to be the big thing for competitive, because we're probably going to want to change some stuff around here or there maybe.
Hmm.
For like competitive, or like maybe mess with rule sets and stuff like that. And like if there's like no game settings for that and we just have the default stuff, I mean that'll be fine, because we can still play private matches, but we need that for the launch
Oh yeah.
of full private matches at least.
For sure. But overall, I feel like all the content that's coming in season 3 is gonna be great. I think the biggest thing is private matches, and then you know, for season 3, well, for season 2, I think it's gonna be good. But for season 3, I think that's gonna be kind of one of
Season
the
3 is
turning.
where we see private matches really like
Yeah,
show up,
and
I
then like
think.
prestiges and
Uh,
stuff like that. And then I think by the end of the year, hopefully they'll have a lot of things ironed out. Um, but if you for those of you guys that love X Defiant and want to see it succeed, get on the game. Because if we don't play, they're gonna lose post-launch support after season 3. So get on the game, test it out, unlock the new characters at least, play just play for a little bit. Let's save this game because I think seeing their new roadmap, I think will solve a lot of issues that we're telling them that we're seeing as players, and I think they're answering them. They're not answering them as fast as they should have. I mean, there's a lot of players that won't be
yeah, I
coming
mean,
back,
like,
but
I know that they're like a small team in the development time, or like whatever. We've heard that like
mm,
100 times, so we get that.
mm,
The thing is like they should have they should have known that private matches were going to be the most requested feature, and
yeah,
that should have been a thing that they should have launched with, or at least put in season 1.
yeah,
And they dropped the ball a little bit on that one. But they're coming now. Is it maybe a little too late? It's debatable. It could be, it could not be. I guess we'll find out. See how many people come back to play and
mm,
to compete. But we'll find out.
yeah.
Um,
But yeah, I mean, overall, it was a good debrief. I liked it a lot. What I saw. But we're gonna have to end the podcast here because I gotta go get ready for class.
yeah.
But thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of the podcast. For those of you guys that are here live, thank you very much. And we'll be live again with the 90th episode of the podcast next week. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like the video if you're watching on YouTube and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Maybe even give some of our older episodes a little bit of a watch. Really helps out and it's very much appreciated. And we have a lot of different information on different topics when we go really in depth most of the time on these things. But yeah, Deception, say bye.
Bye.
All right, guys. See you guys next time. Peace.